Чем прикольный RuneScape? Интересно. Хороший вопрос, наверное. Прежде всего, наверное, на меня повлияло то, что в моем классе, когда я учился, был чел, у которого батя или дед играли еще в тогдашний ОСРС, то есть который сейчас Legacy, ну или как он там называется, я не знаю. И тот подсадил, получается, внука, но я не помню, это был батя или дед, в общем, внук или сына. Тот начал играть просто RuneScape. Ну, я просто у него узнал, типа, чё как игра. Ну, нормально. Немножко с ним покатали. Но у него был прем. И... особо не получилось играть. Плюс он намного выше уровнем был. Не, ну, раньше игр же мало было. Это была одна из самых первых браузерных игр, я так понимаю. Вот, а чем вообще хорош RuneScape? Я думаю, тем, что он сильно... Я не знаю, как по-русски это слово, idle. Типа... одна из первых игр, где пока ты играешь, тебе не особо нужно играть. Ну, то есть какой геймплей, если ты качаешь вудкаттинг? Ну, типа, рубишь деревья, стоишь. Иногда у тебя будет появляться мини-ивенты, проверять, что ты не АФК. Там... в армию забирают, допустим, или... еще какие-то ивенты, я не очень помню.
Good morning and welcome back to ESA Summer 23. Grab a breakfast, grab some friends, and get ready for a beautiful day of speedrunning action. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate
Дерево
below the
нападает.
stream. And of course, we would like to thank
Или еще что-нибудь такое.
Twitch for enabling all of you at home to watch this with us. Our sponsor, Glorious, provider of amazing computer peripherals. Type !Glorious in chat for more information.
Видимо, время шутаутов. Спасибо Твичу, что позволяет стримить на своей площадке. Хотя, в принципе, можем стримить на любой площадке.
The ultra-fast roguelite releasing on August 2nd. You can wishlist it on Steam and type !Ninja in chat for more information.
Кому нравится спидраны, приходите.
The free-to-play quests, you ready?
Приходите в сообщество RuSC. У нас есть и спидранеры, и люди, которые не спидранят.
Hello, I'm 5-1 and I'm going to be speeding all the free-to-play quests on the
и можно и покомментировать.
On old school RuneScape. With me I've got English Ben helping out on commentary, so I'm just going to get right into it.
Насколько я понял, это спидран всех квестов, доступных во free-to-play режиме. Как я вижу, у нас не прокачанный перс, и мы просто делаем квестики. Первый квест, кстати, туториал остров еще есть, но мы его пропустили. Первый квест — это помочь повару. Чтобы помочь повару, надо набрать ингредиентов для его торта, что ли. Нам нужна мука, яйца, вода. В принципе, большую часть можно там найти на кухне, но вот за яйцами надо бегать в ближайшую деревню. Самое сложное в спидранинге этой игры в том, что для того, чтобы ее спидранить, нужно при каждом ресете создавать новый аккаунт.
you know, set up routes and stuff and
Потому
even
что,
do
ну,
like riskier tricks
как бы
and things like
квесты,
that.
они...
But Cook's Assistant is pretty simple, but there is some deviance to how you do it usually.
Квесты не
You
сбрасываются.
know, if you're using like RuneLite plugins or something in Quest Helper.
О,
And
кайфовая музыка,
the
конечно.
first one, the sort of like major one, I guess, is you saw Simon actually go to the like the farmer that you can use to pay to protect your crops.
Иконки немножко
in the back of
обновлены,
Lumbridge. There's a
но
tree
все
patch
еще
there.
чувствуется
And you can
старый
actually
лад.
speak to them to buy a bucket of compost because we get what is
Судя
it,
по
100 GP, I
всему,
think?
мы
I
получили
can't see it, it's a
поушен.
But yeah,
Я не
you get 100
знаю.
GP, so you can use it to buy
Ну,
stuff
в общем,
that you need
здесь
for the run.
разрешено
And,
иметь,
you can actually buy a bucket of compost and then empty it in order to
разрешено самому себе
Oh,
помогать.
you
Поскольку
forgot,
мы
yeah.
спидраним
Not a good
онлайн-игру,
time to have teleport.
некоторые
But
квесты
yeah, so instead of going
проще
to like the
проходить,
general
если
store, for example, or like picking up a bucket, I think
загадка
there's
уже
one, like,
частично
downstairs in
решена.
Lumbridge basement as
А
well.
для этого
It's
можно
much more
просто
efficient
в
to
правильных
run
местах расположить
towards
себе
the,
челов.
you know, the
Ну,
other
соответственно,
objectives
ты
like the
логинишься
egg
под
and stuff
другим
like that,
аккаунтом
and then also
и
grab the bucket of
открываешь там,
compost
не
on the
знаю,
way.
дверь или еще
So
что-нибудь.
if you're looking to do like the platinum challenges and stuff, these are pretty good routes to do so.
Yeah, so unfortunately I forgot the
Вот.
egg, which lost a bit of time, but
That's unlucky. So if you were, you know, on an
Забыл
actual
яйцо.
proper main game now, you'd have to make a
Сразу
new
же.
account, do tutorial
Ну,
hour
ничего
just to get
бывает.
another crack
Не
at it.
так страшно. Мука у нас есть? Вода есть? А, молоко надо, не вода. Молоко, соответственно, с коровы
This is
доится.
finishing up the quest here. This is very simple. You literally just get the cook's ingredients and that's it. Sorted.
Па-па-па-па-па. Переказ
quest down.
готов.
And then, as you saw, he has the menu there, and look at that. He just teleported immediately to the start of X marks the spot, which is here. So as you can see, you can like teleport to the quest start location, and you can also it's giving you like an energy.
Видимо, этот режим в игре присутствует, где ты можешь прыгать к квестам сразу же. Забавно. Базированные квесты. X marks the spot. Quest.
And for that, you'll have more like I forget what stats you have, but yeah, you're a bit more. You have some decent stats because a level 3 you would never be able to kill Elvarg unless you do some.
Чем мне интересен этот спидран? То, что финальный квест, как сейчас только что объяснили, он заключается в том, чтобы убить дракона. Дракон так-то, ну, при фулл прокачке сложно его убить. Ну, то есть, если у тебя там 99 силы, 99 атаки, 99 защиты, ну, нелегко будет. Даже если ты одет хорошо. Вот, поэтому, видимо, как-то его будут обузить. Прикольно. Вот мне интересно, как это будет. Я сам не смотрел, поэтому просто сижу. Балдею, так сказать.
yeah, so this quest is basically a treasure hunt, and I was supposed to be given a scroll to give me a clue to the first area, and
Этот квест,
that's why I had to go back. Clicked off too early.
это охота на сокровища. Интересно, этого квеста я не помню, чтобы я делал когда-нибудь. Суть, видимо, все идеально сделать. Потому что тут нет скипов, это же онлайн-игра. Просто все максимально оптимально сделать. Плюс небольшой RNG там, где яйца лежат, где еще что. Допустим, те же базовые вещи. Вот нам объясняют, что в 2013 году вышло обновление, я его застал. Игра превратилась в WoW. В принципе, можно с этим согласиться. Ну, сильно изменился визуал. Сильно изменилась драка. ХП стало, типа, задробленным еще на 10. То есть у нас вот показано сейчас 10 хп сверху справа. То есть базовая стала 100 хп. Но как бы урон стал более дробленным. То есть могли... То есть раньше, если ты не нанес одного удара, одного урона, то как бы ты не нанес урон, 0 урона.
They had a backup from August of 2007, which was like just before God Wars 1, I think, came out.
Не-не, мы выполним все. Типа дракон это обязательно, то есть если ты не убил дракона, ты не выполнил квест. Это квест такой выполняется. Что интересно, что когда он нажимает прыгнуть к квесту, у него походу автолевел происходит. Я смотрю, денег прибавилось. И того и сего.
and then you had the old school RuneScape people. And now I'm pretty
В
sure old
общем,
school
да,
RuneScape is like
интересно.
far more popular than the main game. Yeah. So it obviously showed that EOC was not a great update, and 80% of the player base quit. But thankfully we have the 2 games now, and we can go across.
Новая игра была
You're
ничего,
gonna
да,
talk about
нормальная.
Chronicle, or do you want me to?
Но не
Yeah, the
прижилась.
Chronicle
Людям
just
нравится
the
старая.
passage to Champions Guild. That was
И
something new that was added to
тут
old school RuneScape.
как
I
бы
also was meant to
вполне
get the
понятно.
garlic
Зачем браузерную
when I
игру
first went
превращать
upstairs, but I don't know how I didn't
что-то
get it. I
с
must admit.
этим, как это называется,
And then we talked to Dr. Harlow,
со своим
who gave us
лаунчером,
information on how to kill a
туда-сюда.
vampire.
Такой себе, короче.
He's a drunkard, so you
Много
need
кому не
to
понравилось.
give him a drink. Thankfully, he's in a bar, so
Поем чела
appropriate location.
пивасом.
But yeah, the Chronicle is really good because you can buy it from Draenor Market, which is really close to like Lumbridge or any of those starter bits. And it's basically a very cheap teleport to Varrock, which is one of the sort of northeastern cities.
Убийца вампиров квест.
So usually you could just run there.
Но, по
But
сути,
because
мы
we have, like, a
должны,
really low stats
по-моему,
and a
если я
really low
правильно
agility
помню,
level and stuff, it would take us a
отправиться
very
в
long time
поместье
to run up
вампиров.
there. And then we'd also run out of run energy, which is really bad because then we'd be walking everywhere, which is even slower. We do have
Да,
the
деды
energy
играют.
potions, which are the like pink potions that Simon has in his inventory, and they do actually give us, energy when we drink them. But we'd like to teleport as much as possible because it's just way faster.
Yeah,
У нас
so
есть
we
потки с
found the
энергией и
training bone,
ХП
training arrow,
из
which
рыбки
we'll use
готовой.
to kill the vampire.
Yeah.
And that's what this quest basically is, to
Мы взяли осиный кол,
Take out Count Draenor and
логичный
Draenor Mother.
молот,
He's just minding his
чтобы
own
убить
business,
вампира.
sleeping, but they just want him gone.
Теперь нужно понять, где этот вампир
yeah,
будет.
obviously
Мне
the
интересно.
garlic and the steak kind of weaken the
Yeah.
vampire.
If you're familiar with vampires in any way, this will make perfect sense.
And then I'm using
Я думаю, он
quick
там же,
prayers
где и
to help
был.
our range damage
Yeah.
slightly.
So quick prayers are.
Тут будет поместье, да, все
they're
правильно,
not
поместье
exclusive
вампира.
features to old school. They definitely exist in RuneScape 3
Ну,
as
чтобы
well, but
убить
they weren't-
вампира,
they weren't a
нужно
thing back in
в поместье куча
2007 when we
всего
played this game. But the way they work is, if you see on the top right hand side, Simon
разгадать.
has his like health total, which is like the red, love heart.
Я
and
думаю,
the
он
blue,
себе
which
сам
is the
поможет
prayer.
сейчас.
And the prayer is something that you can use. It's a skill in the game to essentially give yourself buffs
Сейчас
temporarily
проверим.
at the cost of prayer points. So you see he has how many does he have? 30 prayer points right now. And they'll go down, like, it depends on how many
Вот
prayers
этот
you
квест
use. You
прикольный.
can use
Тут
a lot at the
ты
same
заходишь в
time if you want to,
поместье,
and they drain
и
more.
нужно
You see he's clicked on the button
разгадать,
there,
как,
which
что,
is like
куда
the
сходить.
prayer
Но,
button.
видимо, тут
And
все очень
basically,
просто
it just
сделано.
turns on any prayers that
Окей.
you've previously selected.
34 уровня
So he has
братан,
one that boosts his
очень
range
жесткий.
accuracy, I think, right? It's,
Yeah.
It's a very basic prayer. Yeah. But
Ну, но у
obviously any
нас,
boost is worth
да,
it because you're
это
not gonna
скоростная
be using
прокачка
prayer.
какая-то.
It all gets
Вообще,
reset
я
at the
так
end, and
понимаю,
obviously you might
спидран
use any buffs you can.
длился бы очень долго,
So
потому
range is
что
pretty
прокачивать
overpowered,
надо
and
силу
as you can
и
see,
так
he's
далее.
massacring
А так
the
у нас
vampire
сейчас
in, like,
ХП,
less than
Quite
6 minutes.
RNG
получается,
heavy, this one.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
one thing you will see
30
quite a lot
уровня.
is, as Simon alluded
То
towards,
есть
is there's
это,
quite a
ну,
lot of luck
пару
involved
часов
in
игры,
these
как
kind of
минимум,
speedruns, especially if you're going for,
если
like,
не
big
пару
time.
десятков часов.
Because the way the combat system works is, in old school
Не,
RuneScape at
не
least,
знаю.
is you simply click on a target and you attack at a set interval. So every single weapon has intervals.
Так,
big
забавно,
two-handed
нас
swords attack
резетнуло.
slower, little daggers will attack faster. And it's entirely, luck based what you hit. Obviously, there are things to increase your hit, like a more powerful weapon will have a higher max hit and a lower minimum hit. But essentially, every weapon has like a range of what they can possibly hit based on your gear,
Я
and
пытаюсь
your
понять, что
strength level, and
происходит.
things like that. And also how accurate you are, so you can just entirely miss your attack. So it's entirely
Да
possible that
неинтересно,
Simon could
сори.
hit every single time on a monster and kill it in 30 seconds, or he could, miss or splash, as it's called in this. Well, I guess splash is
Без
one of
гугла
them,
очень
but
сложно
yeah,
пройти
you get
этот
what I mean.
квест.
Like you can miss your attack, or you can even hit, but then hit a zero as well. So that's always
Ну,
great.
тут технически
And you can,
частично
so you can spend,
пиксель-хантинг,
like 2 minutes on a
но
boss
все равно
and
это
you can
круто
spend 10
было.
minutes. There's not a lot Simon can do about it.
yeah. So in most cases, we tried to get the best gear we can get shortest time
Yeah,
possible.
exactly. Yeah.
So that does kind of make our hits less accurate, but it's the fastest way to finish the mission,
Yeah.
the quest.
If you're doing the quest in the main game and you're having trouble with a boss because you're not hitting hard enough or whatever, you can just go and train your stats and come back, and you'll have a much higher chance because you'll just do a lot more damage and take a lot less. Obviously, in the speedrun world, you're fixed.
Сейчас мы уже
to
делаем
a
вообще
specific,
другой квест.
set of stats. So whatever you have is what you have. You can't level up or anything in this. So
Yeah, so in quests like this, it gives us a bit of a agility level
Yeah.
just to allow us to run a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And that's the case for most of the quests.
Yeah, and it also gives you some food, which is just 2 fish in his inventory, just because there's like a skeleton and stuff that you run past that might hit you and do a bit of damage.
Ясно. Короче говоря, сильно упрощенный вариант. Для каждого квеста тебе, твоего персонажа, дают ему необходимые статы, короче говоря. И то, что нужно ему в инвентаре иметь. Ну, там, потки и хпшки. Даже при том, что мы здесь особо не деремся, все еще может случиться что-то такое, что на нас нападет, поэтому лучше иметь хп, и поэтому игра такая. Держи. Забавно. Я не знал, что есть такой режим, но вот тут есть такой режим в игре.
Off the top of my head, which is really high for like usually like grandmaster quests will give you like 2 or 3, and they're like hours long, you know, unless you're speedrunning them.
Because I used to speedrun a category called Champions Guild %, which would make a new Iron Man account, and then you'd get enough quest points to enter the Champions Guild.
Yeah, the Iron Man is a good point actually. Forgot to mention that. So Iron Man mode, if you're not familiar, basically means that you're entirely self-sufficient, and that's what these quests and these worlds are all based around. So if you're familiar with RuneScape, you'll know that the
Поздравляем.
exists, which is where you can like buy items
Прикормку. Закидываем ее в фонтан. Ищем в фонтане что-то и находим компас. Потому что в фонтане пираньи. И пираньи умирают от ядовитой прикормки. Гениальный квест вообще.
So everything that you do has to be done like within the world without any other player interaction. And because you're set in this like kind of instance world, you also
Да, вон там скелет ходит жесткий, 22 уровня. Может, нас отметились, но благо двери за собой сами закрываются, и скелет не может пройти.
Help turn him back. We don't need to talk to this guy before the quest. We can get all the items.
Кого-то мы должны превратить обратно из курицы по квесту.
Did he say he's missing?
Oh, for some reason I had to talk to him again then.
Yeah. So yeah, if you were doing these sort of quests the intended way, you would have to go upstairs to see what the actual problem is. But you know, the good thing about it's kind of like non-linear is you can get all the stuff beforehand. There are actually some quests, like Doric's quest, for example, where the entire quest, if you know what you're doing,
Не, ну это интересный вариант спидрана режима.
And there's even like unique dialogue because the developers knew that people
То есть, если ты не хочешь
on a second account or a third account,
играть в игру, прокачиваться,
because they know that
ты
the
можешь
quests are always like static, they're always the same.
таким образом пройти
Well,
квест.
some of them have random items that you need to get, but most of them are static things that you need to
И
get.
при этом спидранер
So yeah,
кучу
like
предметов еще и не тратит, то есть очень щедро режим в RuneScape работает.
Oh, you know, what are the chances I've guessed that you had, that you needed those exact things, and I just happen to have them all with me in my backpack, and he's like, oh, that's.
Ну да, индивидуальная прокачка бы занимала очень много времени.
Yeah, because I know people use like Rune HQ back in the day, but now there's the wiki. It gives you a lot of the items you need before, so you can easily do the quest.
Yeah, the wiki is like one of the best in any MMO. It's like, if you've ever used the quest guide on the wiki, it tells you exactly what you need. It gives you a checklist, so you can even like check off the things that you have and don't have.
Very helpful.
And you can even log into the wiki because it's officially endorsed by Jagex. So you can log into the wiki and it will automatically tell you what requirements you have and what you haven't got. So if you haven't done a quest that's required, it'll tell you, it'll put an X next to it, which is.
С одной стороны, да, с другой стороны, прогрессия персонажа есть тогда.
So this is Black Knight's Fortress, so basically helping to stop this master plan from happening.
Он в Диабло.
I brought an iron chamber.
Уровень всех противников растет вместе с твоим уровнем.
So I look like the classic guard.
И да, конечно, ты становишься сильнее, там в итоге их намного. Но все равно это странно. А здесь это способ рассказать историю.
Count check or something. It's supposed to be like a button on a count check. And if you've never spoke to him before and you're a new player, which we are because we've, you know, a fresh new account that's just reset on the reset worlds, you can talk to
Это
him,
как
and he will offer you a free
в Вове.
one-time teleport to the stronghold
Если
of
я
security,
решил
which is
вдруг
where you
начать
can
играть в
learn
Вов,
about like account security and things like that,
чего
how to
я
set
делать
like
не буду,
passwords on your account and, you know, learn not to get scammed by giving your
то я
passwords
бы
to like fake
проходил,
moderators
читал
and all sorts
квесты.
of the classic MMO
Yeah.
scams that people fell for as a kid.
Потому что я раньше этого не
Don't let
делал.
anyone trim your armor, things like that. So yeah, you can teleport to Barbarian Village, which is very useful because it's right
Вот.
next
И
to
также я
RuneScape's
делаю со
Warhammer
всеми
Fortress,
играми,
which
которые
is
я
the
играю.
north.
Ну, потому что мне
And
интересно.
also, it's right next to a helmet shop where you can purchase the
Геймплей.
bronze med helm that you need. So the sort of like big conflict in this is that all of
Не
you,
менее важен.
regardless of, you infiltrate in, but then you just get attacked by all the knights anyway, and they're a lot higher level than you usually. So you've got to, and this place is kind of like a labyrinth. You can see Simon's going up and down all sorts of different ladders. So if you don't know where you're going, it
Да,
can be quite
лабиринт.
scary because you can get mashed out
Надо
by
знать,
the
куда идти.
guards.
У нас всего 10 хп.
Yeah, basically just listen to their plan.
Ну, мы знаем,
Yeah,
куда
the
идти.
knights can hit fours, so have died on this quest in the past.
Yeah, it
because
does
of having
happen.
10 HP.
Yeah. The biggest, most important thing you need to do, I don't know if you can do it on this world, but I know you usually can, is the cabbage. You need to put it in like a chute or something to like send it into a witch's cauldron to like make it blow up and foil their plans. But you can accidentally click on the cabbage because it's a type of food
Крутая
you
игра,
can eat at the
конечно.
same time. So a classic is you can
В эту игру, да,
accidentally,
можно как активно играть, так
you can
и
accidentally eat
очень
the
пассивно
cabbage, and
играть.
then
О,
you gotta go
идол,
and get another
пассивно.
one, and that's obviously pretty bad.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Это
there are cabbages, as
очень
you can see
уникальный
there,
геймплей,
to the east.
который
There are cabbages
просто,
in the edge
наверное,
corners
мне
right
лично
there,
нравится.
so, yeah, gotta be very careful to
Опа,
use the
закидываем
item.
капусту.
Just Kobe it in this hole.
Yeah, and I got through there quite easily because of the
Прямо
dialogue
в
at the door. The knight can hit you. and
в
you
котел
walk it off.
ведьме.
Yeah, it is very annoying that like you're not like in any kind of instance when you're talking to
И
people.
портим ее
So
рецепт.
sometimes quests expect you to go into a place full of
Уи.
aggressive
Бам.
monsters or whatever, and then speak to somebody. But then if you get hit, it knocks you out of the dialogue, and you've
по
got to like
уши.
safe spot yourself somewhere, and it's pretty silly.
Yeah, so I clicked
Да,
out of when, as
интрудер.
soon as the cabbage dropped down, I clicked out because that can be a lot
Да, надо
faster.
через правый клик прокликивать, чтобы
If
ты не
there's
попал
any
по мобу,
donations,
попал
it'd be a good
на
time to
дверь,
just
нажал
run back
открыть.
as soon as the quest.
Короче, романтика.
Thank you. We have a
Сейчас такое,
$16
конечно, играть.
donation from YTP_renewed2 saying, "Who needs story in a video game? The only
Неинтересно,
story you need for a
наверное.
video game is
Может
a
быть, потому что я
podcast which you
уже
listen while playing
наигрался в
it.
это.
Thank you for your kind donation and your wise words. And remember, you can put your donations towards bid wars and incentives. We have one
Я не
coming up
знаю.
for Final Vendetta in about 3 hours, and you can make the choice for which character
Надо
skin will
спрашивать
be
у
used for the
разработчиков
run.
про
Thank you.
RuneScape.
I wonder how many people, there's like the whole.
Ну, вообще,
thing,
это должно
like,
быть RuneScape.
How many people actually bother to read the lore when they do quests versus how many people just smash through it for the XP? You a lore guy, Simon?
No, not really.
No?
It's just space spammer and read the wiki.
Yeah. See, I am a lore person. I do like the lore of these games, but at the same time, I'd much rather just watch like a,
Белый
RuneScape
замок.
lore in 5 minutes video on
Здесь
YouTube or
обитают
something, rather than, like, trying to deduce all this
рыцари в
medieval
белом
dialogue.
арморе.
Like, I don't
С них
know,
можно
man.
There's a
нафармить
YouTube channel that
белый
goes
армор.
into lore and like history and
Забавно,
stuff.
что здесь много разного армора есть
Watch a lot of RuneScape historian.
по металлу. И,
So we're
ну,
just
в
coming up
принципе,
to the end of this
все
now.
все промежуточное, как обычно, полная ерунда.
That's
Но
why it's important to kind of
все равно
keep
это
your
клево, ты
energy
качаешься.
up so you can finish the quest
Такой оп,
quicker.
Yeah. And you saw
можешь
Simon
носить
actually
теперь это.
drop all of his stuff there because he doesn't actually need the food or the armor or anything anymore. And it actually weighs you down, so there's a weight system in this game. And if you have
В этой игре есть система вес, поэтому периодически спидранер будет выбрасывать какие-то вещи, если они нам больше не нужны, чтобы быстрее бежать. Ну, не то, что быстрее, а дольше бежать. Потому что при беге у нас садится энергия видна справа сверху, рядом с картой, в качестве ботиночка. Опа, это драка с демоном. Да, прикольно, когда добираешься в первый раз до этого города, получаешь этот квест, что тут надо победить демона. Для этого нужно, по-моему, научиться вытачивать руны. После того, как мы учимся правильные руны точить, собирать, мы приходим к этому алтарю, если я правильно помню, используем руны, и появляется демон. Демоны очень сильные в этой игре, там очень много дамажат. Их можно встретить в башне магов, где они тренируются стрелять в них.
But it's locked behind 3 keys.
We need to get the keys back. One of them is just with an NPC that you talk to. The other one you have to. It's stuck in a drain, so you have to wash it down into the sewers. And then the other
Это
one is
первый крупный город, который мы можем найти в мире RuneScape. Здесь же есть торговая площадка, которая появилась позже, не с самого начала игры она здесь есть. Первый крупный город, в который можно сделать телепорт, опять же. Я забыл, как называется.
So instead, there are different spawns around the map of bones, and you can only pick them up, and then they respawn every, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. I don't remember exactly how long it takes. But so that would obviously be very slow to sit and pick up a bone spawn and then wait 5 minutes and then pick it up again. We'd be here all night, and tech would be very upset as if we did that. So instead, we're actually going to hop worlds. So we're going to change to a different game world. There's all sorts of different worlds and servers and stuff that you can connect to. And obviously, the item spawns are separate on every single world. So if you pick up a bone spawn and then hop to the next world, as long as nobody's picked up that bone spawn in the next world, you can pick it up again, and we can just keep going through the worlds. I forget how many speedrun worlds.
Рассказывают про забавную механику в этой игре. RuneScape имеет большую сеть серверов. Сервер вмещает в себя около 1000 игроков, если я правильно помню. И у каждого сервера есть свой... Ну, не свой, а, наверное, просто все везде спавнится одинаково. В одном и том же месте, на каждом сервере. И поскольку нам нужно будет нафармить немножко костей, они долго появляются по 5 минут на одном споте, но мы можем прыгать между серверами.
If we were to pick up 25 bones, we would have to drop like our food or our coins to, you know, make up for that. So we're going to do a bit of like item juggling later on, because you can drop items to the floor and they won't despawn for a little while. I forget how much it is in these like instance worlds, I'm not sure. And then we're also going to put stuff into our bank, which is literally just like an item storage chest.
I've got what I need. So.
Yep. And Simon also used the mini games teleport there. So there is a home teleport that you can use that will take you to Lumbridge or Edgeville, which is this city here if you've set it to that, but most people remember it as Lumbridge by default. And you can use that every 30 minutes real time. So it's a useful thing that you can use every now and again, and it gets reset when we start a new quest, for example. But we can't continuously use it, and obviously most of this quest takes, you know, precedent all the way up north anyway, so Lumbridge teleport is not particularly useful. But you can also, you have a mini-games teleport which resets every 20 minutes that is completely separate to the home teleport. And that can teleport you to any mini-game that you have access to.
Отдельные спидран сервера. Интересно.
And it actually has a portal in Edgeville that takes you to Soul Wars. So you can use that to teleport to the Soul Wars minigame and then leave out of the portal, and it's essentially a free teleport to Edgeville.
Yeah, so there's a lot of helpful stuff
И
for
в чем
especially new players that don't have the
удобно,
magic level to get
что
around.
ты можешь на любой сервер прыгнуть.
If you remember playing
Я
as a
раньше так
kid and,
обузил
like,
деньги,
walking all the way
пока
around the
не
map
было
for, you know, like,
магазина,
hours to get to,
общей
like,
торговой
certain
площадки.
missions, that's, like, not a thing anymore.
Крафтишь
Well, you can do it, of course, if you want to,
какой-нибудь
but,
предмет,
yeah, you mostly
там, не
teleport
знаю,
around quite a lot
рунитовый
now.
кинжал. Это предпоследний, не, рунитовый,
Did you know that they
последний,
finally
адамантиевый
raised the
тогда.
max
Или
cash limit exclusively in RS3?
Oh no, I didn't.
Like a few weeks ago, I saw it on
Адамантиевый тогда
Reddit, yeah.
получается,
So now
потому
you can have,
что
like,
рун это
7 quintillion gold before you hit the
светло-голубой,
max cash limit.
Do they
адамантий
not
должен
have
быть зеленый,
something
если я правильно
you know,
помню.
they have platinum tokens.
Адамантовый
Yeah.
получается
Do they have
кинжалы,
something like that in RS3?
They used
надо же
to
куда-то их девать, и
Oh,
ты просто
some of
приходишь
them, if you remember
к
that.
торговцу
Oh, yeah.
It's a
оружием,
skill that came out in,
пытаешься
like,
у него
2008, so it's not
продать.
in this one.
Ты ему продаешь
But
какое-то
yeah, they're
количество,
worth
и
2
у него
GP each, so
заполняется,
they
что
use,
он
it's basically like the
имеет
second
теперь эти
currency that you can use.
ножи, и чем
And
больше
yeah,
ты ему
also
продаешь,
RuneScape has
соответственно, тем
platinum
дешевле ты
tokens,
их,
which are very
их
similar.
ему продаешь. Вот, и поэтому
Yeah.
можно
It's
продать
a
ему
random
какую-то
tangent,
часть,
but just talking about
прыгнуть
it
на
while
другой
we're on
сервер
worlds.
и продать
Yeah.
уже
You can hold
тому же торговцу на другом сервере
2.147
те же
billion
ножи и
gold at any
получить,
one time in, like,
соответственно,
your
больше денег.
bank or your coin stack here.
Забавная штука.
It's just to
Что
do
можно
with like
просто
32-bit integer maximums
между
and
серверами
stuff. You
бегать.
don't need to care about it. But yeah, in RuneScape 3 exclusively, they increased it after. How long has this game been a thing? Since like the late 90s, this has been a thing. Like 25 years later, they finally made it so you can have more gold. Because as you can imagine, people play this game like all the time, right? Because it's an MMO, so it's like a grindy MMO. So there are some people that are like quadrillionaires in this game, and they always complained because, oh, I can only have 2 billion of my 4 quadrillion gold in my inventory at any one time. And believe it or not, there are actually items that are worth more than the maximum cash that you can have. So you're not able to like purchase them on the Grand Exchange or anything because you can only put that amount of money in. So you have to like go on the RuneScape forums or like meet people in game and hope they don't scam you. And it's a horrible like underground black market, arms dealing kind of thing.
It's an RS3 with mainly like party hats, and on RSRS you have
like third age pickaxes and stuff. They're like stupidly rare items.
I'm just gonna buy 2 Chronicles here because I'll be teleporting to Champions Guild twice to get back to Varrock.
Yeah, so the Chronicle is the book that he has, and then you have the teleport cards, and each card gives you 1 charge, right? I think? Yeah. So essentially, it's like a one-time teleport, but you can repeatedly purchase more and more cards, and everything's extremely cheap. The cards cost like 10 GP or something. It's nothing.
Пьем водки энергии. Стамина быстрее восстановилась.
So now he's got the 2 keys, he's got more energy, and he's got 25 bones. And now he's going to head towards the Wizard's Tower, which
25 костей у нас тоже есть.
And then after that, he's going to grab Silverlight, which is like the big
7,
sword that you can use to slay the demon. And yeah, and then it'll
22
be
и
killing Delrith.
3 получается в
The
этом.
big problem with killing Delrith, especially when you're at a lower level like this, is if you guys remember
Выполняет квест
when you were a
Demon
kid,
Slayer.
there was like a whole big trope around walking from Lumbridge to Varrock, and there was like a lot of like dark mages that were outside.
О, город Варак
entrance,
называется,
and
точно.
they were level 8 or something. They were like no real threat. But if you were a new player, you're level 3, they would potentially kill you. So it was like a huge thing back in the day where people would die to the dark mages and like lose their items and stuff. And at this level that we're currently at, those dark mages will aggro onto you by default. So if you're, I forget exactly how it works. It's like if you're like double their combat level plus 1 or something like that. Then they won't be aggressive to you because they're like really low level. There are some NPCs that will attack you no matter what, and some that don't attack you no matter what. It's like the
Да, у
guards
квестов
don't
нет
attack you no
левел гейта,
matter
любой
what,
квест можно
unless you
взять.
hit them back.
Хотя...
First, excuse me. But yeah, so those
Хотя
dark
я
mages
не
will be
уверен на этом
hostile
на
if
100%.
you're a certain combat
Не
level,
уверен.
and we're in that combat
Вряд
level
ли.
range. And the other issue is the reason
В
why
любом
it's a problem
случае, если
is
ты
because
приходишь
if
в
a
квест,
dark wizard then attacks you,
взял,
you then can't
тебя
attack
могут
Delrith,
бить
because
просто.
this is what we call a single combat zone, which means that you can only be in combat with one entity at a time. So if Simon gets piled by all the dark mages, he won't be able to attack the demon and
Получили, получается, у магов
and as you can imagine, if
какую-то
you're going for like
штуку.
world record times, that can kill a run.
Видимо, ключ мы
Because the dark
восстановили.
mages can screw
Видимо,
you.
я ошибся по поводу рун.
Just getting Silverlight
Просто
now,
ключ мы
'cause I've
восстановили.
got no,
То, что
it will
сразиться с демоном. Но
Yeah,
демона, так понимаю, мы убивать не будем.
might just wait a little
У
while around
нас...
here just to get some run energy.
Yeah,
There's,
good shout.
I think there's 3 areas you can run into
Или
to
будем.
make this
Да, получается,
cutscene
будем.
happen, and when you
Тут
run
есть
out, it kind of
темные
resets
маги,
the aggro of the
так
dark
сказать,
Yeah.
спиритуалисты,
Yeah, so this,
которые
like,
не
instance that you
против
see here
вызывать
isn't what's actually gonna happen. You see, you walked in
демонов,
and
но они
it's
не
a
могут
completely different,
вызывать
like,
демонов, только в
instanced
катсцене
area
умеют
where the boss fight happens. So
это
you can
делать.
leave, and then
Это,
it
хотя
will
достаточно
spawn a
мощные
new
типы,
instance in when
против
you
них
re-enter,
можно
and
драться
the Dark
и
Wizards will be in a new
качать себе
randomized location, essentially. So, with any luck, he will be able to attack Delrith right away.
защиту, наверное. Хотя
But
не
if
уверен
not,
насчет
you can
защиты.
sort of run. You can either like, run
Карта
around the pillars
почернела,
to try and reset the aggro,
и
or you can
мы,
just run out in
получается,
again.
так
Yeah.
сказать, находимся в квестовой
Luckily, the
зоне.
actual demon is pretty. You might want to turn auto retaliate off maybe as well, so that dark wizards don't. Yeah, that's just a mechanic that makes you automatically attack back. And obviously, it's like.
Маги нас атакуют. Демон вроде невысокого уровня.
As you can
Опа.
see, the actual demon himself is no threat at all, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Демон вообще ерунда, а вот маги стреляют очень больно.
Reckon you can do it on 9 HP.
Нам бы похилиться,
run out a little
но у
bit.
нас нет ничем похилиться.
Yeah, so this is what I mean about the dark wizards. They can be like extremely annoying.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna run out. Okay. Yeah, because it's a level.
Пару
20
удачных
one,
выстрелов,
so
и мы
this level
сдохнем.
7 will leave me alone.
Yeah.
So it's just the
Classic.
Бей! Он не хочет бить просто.
oh
Ай-яй-яй,
This guy's
4.
massacring you.
yeah.
Так и
but-
погибнуть можно.
Unlucky.
yeah, if I was better with the run NG,
ГГ. Погиб.
Fortunately, you can just.
yeah, I might just move on to the next one.
Oh, you could just run back up now because you don't like kill the run, right? So you could just go back up to Varrock and fight him again.
Yeah,
It's obviously it's not ideal,
Yeah.
but you've got enough time.
that's why I put such a high.
Ну, достаточно времени, чтобы
So this
добежать
is the
просто до
classic
города.
Varrock. It'll only take
Город
about a
не
minute
очень
or so.
далеко.
But time for donations in the
Но,
meantime.
естественно,
Yes, thank you.
это
We
reset
have a
point.
$5 donation from Isaiah
Как он багует?
saying, "Does pen and paper
Это не
make
совсем
this the
баг, то есть
coolest you
ты
can speedrun?"
вправе зайти и
Well,
выйти
you
в
be the
локацию
judge.
квестовую.
The
Здесь,
the wiki certainly
по крайней
does.
мере.
That's,
Она не
yeah,
блокируется.
definitely.
Там просто куча
It's
высокоуровневых
also worth noting as well while
культистов,
Simon heads back is
и они колдуют очень
so we're playing
неприятно
on like the
магию.
official
Это может быть
Jagex client
на
that you can
урон,
use.
на минус
But there are like third-party
защиту,
clients that
по-моему,
you can use if you
резистанс.
wish to. The most popular one is called RuneLite, and that has plugins that like
Вроде бы
community
минус
members have
урон
developed
тоже
for
есть.
the plugin. Sorry, for the client. And that has one of the most popular ones is called Quest Helper.
Yeah.
And it
Но
essentially
уникальной
like
магии у
hooks
них
into your
нет. То
game and
есть
sees
эту
what
любую,
like
ну всю
part
магию
of
мы
the
тоже
quest that you're up doing.
можем
It
кастовать в
tells
целом.
you what to do, and it tells you like what, you know, dialogue to press and things like that. So it's like a really good way to smash through quests if you're not a big quest fan.
Ба.
So I'll probably just do
Ye-
more running in and running out.
Once you attack him once, can you not just
Ба.
stay on him?
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Yeah, so now we're
Ба.
able to
Окей,
attack him.
маг
And
не
now the
хочет
Dark
с
Wizard
нами
can't
драться.
attack Simon as well.
Отлично.
And now he's just gonna use the.
А, точно, это в этом месте можно только, может быть только
So
дуэль,
if he
один
messes
на
this
один
up, it
драка.
actually resets the fight.
Просто
Which isn't really a
маги
big
на
deal,
нас
but
докапывались, поэтому
it's a
демон не мог нас
heads up.
бить. И мы не могли демона бить. Но если
Yeah,
мы
so a bit
первый демона
unfortunate to
атакуем, то,
die.
соответственно, мы
Yeah.
попадаем в драку с демоном, и демон сдеремся с демоном. Вот почему у него не
I mean, what would a
получалось.
RuneScape run be without a Dark Wizard?
Потому что маг
attacking you and
постоянно
killing you,
нас
right?
агрил,
That's the whole point.
а тут типа зона
It's for that, you know, sweet
только один на
nostalgia.
один
There you go.
ПВП.
And I'm just gonna run away so I don't get attacked.
I'm proud of you, Simon. We got through it. You can see, like, even though he's completing the quest, he's still getting banged out by the Dark Mages. Like, they just never quit.
So next is Prince Ali rescue. We're just gonna rescue Prince Ali, who's locked up at the moment.
Yeah. So this is Al-Kharid, which is actually right next to the starting
Спасение.
area of Lumbridge.
Принц
It's
Али.
like the sort of desert town. There's an entire
Очень
desert, like,
крутая
area as
локация,
well, and there's like
целая
swamp areas and all sorts of this game. But you might
пустыня.
not see it too much if you're not too familiar
Здесь
with the
можно
game.
купить скимитар первый
This
свой,
quest has a lot of running back and
по-моему.
forth
Ну да,
between
какой-нибудь
here
любой,
and Draenor
на любые
Village.
деньги.
So the
И
game
скимитар это типа
actually
самая
gives you a
лучшая
different potion you can see in
милишная
Simon's inventory
одноручная
called a
пушка.
stamina potion. So this,
По крайней
these
мере, на
stamina
тот момент,
potions
когда
are
я
like the
играл,
most
было, да.
overpowered
Так.
potions in the game. The regular energy potions, all that they do is you get 10 more run energy, which is
В
like the yellow
этой игре,
loop
кстати, не
on the top right
нужно
of your screen.
проходить
And it
квесты,
just,
чтобы
you know,
открывать
makes it so you
магию.
can run
В этой
longer,
игре
right?
нужны руны.
But the stamina potion, it not only
Может, чтобы
like,
крафтить
gives
руны,
you
надо
20
пройти
points,
квест.
which is double what you know, a regular energy potion would.
Но руны
But
можно
it
было
also gives you
и
a buff
найти,
that you can see the
а
loot
чуть
has
позже и
changed
покупать
color to like
через
orange or gold. And what that has essentially done is I forget what the stats are, but it basically makes it so
магазины.
you get more run energy and it also drains far less quickly. So you can run for much longer. As you can see, Simon's like barely losing any run energy.
Yeah, it gives a nice little boost, especially when you're doing quests and you got heavy items.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're like essential to do quests like quickly. So yeah, I forget how long it lasts for. Like maybe.
Здесь можно мифрил добывать. Помнится, вон там скорпионы обитают. Мифрил не так много где можно добывать, и это самый лучший ближайший спот.
Yeah,
Ну,
people
единороги
like
есть.
Ben said, people can
Опасные
use RuneLite
животные
and the quest
в этой
helpers,
игре.
but I kind of like
Но они
having
не
it as
атакуют, благо.
standard as possible. But you can use RuneLite to like literally show you the exact path.
Пошла
to go in.
долбежка.
Like exactly what to do, what items to take to what quests and stuff like
Долбит
that. It is very
нормально.
useful. Simon's a boomer minimalist, so. This area around the southeast of Varrock has a lot of items that we need. There's like red berries, there's some copper ore that we'll need later, and essentially the idea of this quest is that we need to like fool the guards in Draenor Jail, gain access to the jail, and then there's like a lady, I forget what her name is, she's some kind of like royalty or like in a gang or something. I don't remember. She's some notable character that I don't remember
think
because I mashed through the dialogue. I don't know what. She's important somehow, and we need to get the key from her, right? And we make like a mold, and then we duplicate the key into some clay to make our own version of the key to then break out Prince Ali.
Yeah.
Who's like a prince? Well, obviously Prince Ali. is
Да,
very
точно.
boss.
Нам нужно здесь накопать
he's
немножко
like the
руды,
Prince of
чтобы
Valkyrie.
можно было
I don't
сделать
remember why he screwed
символ
up.
And for some
какой-то
reason, she
вылить,
trusts us enough to look at the key and then
чтобы этот
Even though
символ
it literally
как
no need
ключ
for the
послужил,
45
что такое. В
seconds.
общем, достаточно длинный, сложный квест.
But yeah, we're gonna
Много
buy
беготни в нем.
a skirt here for the disguise, and then we're gonna get a blonde wig later on as well. So the prince becomes like unrecognizable.
Question for you, Simon. Would you ever trust someone who's sprinting at full speed, drinking liquids as he goes, like running into every shop, screaming at the shopkeeper to like sell you these random items?
No,
And
I
he's
don't
like,
think
"Hi, I would like to see your most prestige prisoner, please." No, I would not let him anywhere near.
So I fill up these buckets because I need one for the soft clay and then I need one for the skim paste that we'll be making later on.
There are water sources like all around the game, and they just give you infinite water, so you can fill like infinite buckets up.
So I buy 3 beers, as this is what we give to the guard later on to get him drunk, so he's like not capable of knowing what's going on. So we're able
Бесплатный
to
пивас.
tie up.
There is
Хотя вроде не
an
бесплатный, там
alarming
пару
amount
голды
of
стоит.
times in RuneScape quests where the way that you get what you want is by forcing people to drink alcohol of some kind. Like everyone can be easily convinced by just giving them a beer. No, sorry, I'm not going to do
Забавно,
that.
что
How about another beer?
Yeah.
No, sorry. How about another beer? and then until they like just
можно заставить
can't,
NPC
yeah, it's
сотрудничать, если их
Where
напоить
you're
пивом.
Giving drinks to guards or whatever
yeah,
to distract them.
just yeah, it's like distract them or bribe them or whatever. It's medieval times, you know. Bribery was okay back then, I'm sure. So, this is Draenor Jail just up to the west here. This is another classic thing that people might have been killed by, because if you obviously if you run north to Varrock, you have to deal with the Dark Mages.
Yeah.
If you run west to Draenor through here, then you might have ran into the Draenor Jail Guard, and he's aggressive to you depending on your combat level, and he's like level 20 something.
Yeah.
So he can easily
Very
smack you
dangerous.
about, yeah, if you're not careful.
Yeah, I've got
So-
2 onions there. You can get unlucky and get an onion seed, which is what happened with me, and that's useless to us at the moment.
Well, if you pick the onion, you can just get a seed instead.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know you could get that actually.
though it'd be useful if it gave you the onion plus the seed, but it
Yeah,
can't
it
give you-
just gives you the seed.
Yeah.
The one time that you
Не
don't
знаю,
want
правда, зачем
something
ему
like
все
that.
эти ингредиенты. Сейчас узнаем.
That's interesting.
Что-то он
I didn't know
готовить
that.
будет.
So the onions are used to make dyes, right? You have to make yellow dye. Yeah.
Берем колосья,
So yeah, we're back
нужно
to
их
the
закинуть
windmill again
в
to get some
мельницу,
more flour for the skim paste.
спуститься вниз
This is the
и
thing with
иметь,
Iron Man,
естественно,
like you either love it or you
горшочек
hate it,
для того, чтобы
because
собрать муку.
you do kind of have to like role play a bit, and it's like, oh, I need wheat. Okay, well then I need to go to the mill and make
Yeah.
it myself. But
Yeah.
some
Да.
people are like, nah, sod that. I'm just gonna go and buy it. Like I can't be bothered to wait around.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend trying Iron Man to see.
И по
how we
первому
get on
времени
with it,
было
because
сложно
there's
понять,
leagues
как
as
достать
well, which
муку.
me and Ben have played before.
Yeah, leagues are awesome. Best thing to ever happen to this game.
So yeah, we just chat to her about her plan, and she just happily tells us about what's
it's just
happening.
someone that you've just met. Like, oh, what are your devious schemes? And she's like, oh, well, you know, please don't tell anyone, but.
And then we got an imprint of the key because we say we're going to show it to our grandchildren because it's going to be historic.
Classic excuse. It's just absolutely classic.
So yeah, we're
Мы
running back
получили
to Osman now.
слиток, слепок
Yeah, to
ключа.
give him the key print and he'll make the key for us. And then he'll give it to his daughter Leela.
Мы
who's
сделаем ключ и
in
отдадим
Draenor
слепок
village,
обратно.
convenient, just standing there.
Этих варваров
Yeah, I'm going to run through the castle and then I'm going to light a
в
fire.
подвале, по-моему, спрятан принц
outside,
Али,
so
если
we
я так
need the
правильно
ashes.
понимаю.
And conveniently, the ashes appear by the time we run back from Alcarid to Lumbridge.
Yeah. So the easiest way to get a set of ashes is just to, burn a log and then just leave it to die out, and eventually ashes will spawn in its wake. So instead of waiting for the fire to burn out, you can go and do other tasks and then come back, grab them on the way. It's a lot more efficient. The Leagues game mode is awesome, that Simon was referring to. They didn't do one this year, which is really sad. They usually do it like January time, or like November previous year to January or something.
А также, когда подходишь к этим воротам, нельзя пройти, пока не заплатишь. Что-то еще можно было сделать, если я правильно помню, но силой пройти нельзя было. Соответственно, платить там вроде пару соток или тысяч, я не помню. Ну, нормально так. Для начальной блоки. Это очень забавно, когда ты буквально стартовый город, ну, после туториала попадаешь в стартовый город, рядом у тебя деревенька гоблинов, ты там что-то фармишь, потом подходишь к дверям, к этим воротам, и понимаешь, что тебе не пройти никак.
Because it's area locked, your best item might be a dragon med helm.
Yeah, exactly. And they usually have like unique challenges as well. So the first one, which is it was Zaya, right? Like they locked everyone on Zaya, and you couldn't leave. So you were locked on an island altogether, like Castaway style, basically. And yeah, and you just had to deal with. You're all Iron Man, so you can't trade between each other. And it's just whatever's on Zaya is what you've got to build your account. And those kind of things are really fun because you never really think about it until you try it. You know, because you're like, oh, what weapons
Так,
are on
сделали
sale?
немножко
What things can I kill to get good drops? Like I have no idea.
So the planning part can be
пряжи или ниток, я не
because it's a
помню.
whole new experience.
And you always get those mega geeks who write that like 15-page.
Также у нас уже
thesis on the most
появился,
efficient route for every single league, and you can just follow along
как же
and pretend that
называется,
you're contributing to.
эш, угли,
stuff.
ну,
Then they
угли это
realise what they're doing
немножко
actually
другое.
isn't
Пепел, о,
that
пепел.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Пепел
Yeah.
проще всего получить с костра,
The Iron
и,
Man
соответственно, мы
mode is fun.
просто
I
сожгли,
enjoyed Iron Man up to like late game PVM.
сделали
which is, like,
костер
when you
из
gotta kill,
самых
like,
простых
bosses and
деревьев,
stuff.
они быстрее
The
всего
reason why I
сгорают,
didn't continue it was because
потом
it was
подняли
like super annoying. So
пепел.
if
с
you
этого
want to get
дела.
like a bowl of flour or whatever, it's quite simple to get, right? And it takes you another 30 seconds or so. But then what happens if you want to get like a rare drop that's like a 1 in 500 chance from a boss? You can't buy it, so you have to kill the boss repeatedly to try and get the drop. It's the only way to get it. But then the issue is, there's a 1 in 500 chance. You could do 2,000 kills of that boss.
Чел нам
get
веревку
unlucky enough and
сделал
not progress
из
your
этой
account in
пряжи.
any sort of meaningful way.
That's the only downside really of Iron Man,
That's
but it
what
can
annoyed
make
me.
it quite fun, very
Yeah.
rewarding when you do get that drop that you need.
As long as you don't run out of patience, which I did.
I forgot to actually collect the flowers, so I need to go back for that.
Nice.
But I'll get the die now here, and then I'll get the key, so all I have to do is run back and talk to Aggie.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not too much of a detour to go back to Longridge.
Yeah, because I try and have the wiki up as well, just in case I forget something like getting a bucket of water. I'll get to the end of the quest and I've forgotten to fill up the bucket, then it's quite
Makes sense.
a long way to go back to fill it up. But yeah, I'll be collecting the flower and then going to get the key and the skin paste.
Кажется, под цветок не забрали, но какой, я не очень понимаю.
Because my Iron Man that I did was RS3 because I made it like years and years ago. And the grind that just like completely killed it for me was, I don't know if you know much about RS3.
No.
Played much of it. So you know Zamorak in God Wars 1,
Oh, yeah.
Krill. That boss there in RS3 drops a set of like tier 70 magic armor, and it's like power armor, so it has like increased accuracy and stuff like that. So it's like a really good like mid-level sort of mid-end game thing to set to get. And I did like a stupid amount of kills. Like I was there like.
Скачивал я RuneScape свежий, восстанавливал себе аккаунт. К сожалению, мне перенесли аккаунт в новый RuneScape. Я бы в старом поиграл лучше, но мне в новый перенесли, я чуть поиграл и забил. Лучшее, что у меня есть, это из RuneScape. Как же называется эта игра? О, Melvar Idol. Чел создал.
And then we go through here and talk to Prince Ali and give him the disguise.
Чел создал
There's a bit of a skin paste, a
Idol
skirt,
RPG.
and what else do we have?
По
Or is that
мотивам
it?
The wig.
Oh yeah, the wig. That's enough to
RuneScape.
convince
Джагикс
whoever
его
it is.
подписали.
Completely different person. in the one jail
Что
cell.
круто.
They literally have one prisoner
Yeah.
in one
Теперь
jail
стал
cell.
официальной
So you would think that when
дополнительной
that
игрой
one person steps outside that
Yeah.
one jail cell, they
этой
would think,
вселенной,
oh
так
no,
сказать.
that's that's our prisoner. But like, it must be prisoner number 2 somehow.
You've also got the guards outside who are just oblivious to it.
Yeah, exactly. They
This
just
is
don't care.
a group teleport to Giant's Foundry, which is basically underneath where the Jewel Arena is, which is now called P4B Arena.
Yeah, rest in peace to Jewel Arena. Yeah, the Giants Foundry is actually like a fairly recent thing, right? Maybe
Yeah,
it came out like
quite
a year or so ago, something like that. Maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, my OSRS knowledge is way off, but yeah, it's like a smithing mini game with a bunch of like hill giants, and you make big swords for them or big weapons. And it's
Смотрел,
very
как
beneficial for this particular
саундтрек
speedrun because it's
делали.
right next to Alcarid, so you can use it as a free teleport.
Супер
And I
просто,
think
конечно,
the
все это
grouping
выглядит.
teleport system has a
На тот
separate
момент это было, конечно,
timer to the
легендарно,
mini game
так сказать.
teleport and
Yeah.
the home teleport, right? There's actually a third teleport that I didn't tell you about because I didn't know it existed until just now.
I think they merged minigame into.
Oh, did they?
grouping, so
Okay.
it's their own. But
All the same one. But
on this quest, there's another way you can do it, which is dying to nettles.
oh yeah, you
which
can.
it
You can just death
can be
walk, yeah.
slower or faster depending on your RNG.
Yeah, you can
Квест
just go to, like,
выполнен.
a certain place and just like try and pick up nettles without gloves, and it damages you, and you can just keep doing that over and over again.
Because then you end up in Lumbridge with
Yeah,
full
yeah.
run energy.
Yeah.
So this is below Ice Mountain. This is quite a new to OSRS.
I
Just
was gonna
like
say, yeah, I don't think I've ever done
spot.
this quest because this is a new one.
Какой-то новый квест.
It's basically about an archaeologist that wants to find more treasure.
Квест с археологом какой-то. Это да, это что-то новенькое.
I think the most recent skill in RuneScape 3 was archaeology, right?
Yeah, from what
Yeah.
I've heard.
Квест связанный с
They've
археологией.
For anyone who hasn't
Потому
played
что это
RSV,
скилл.
they've added quite a lot of new.
It's a completely different game. Like if you watch it,
Археология.
if you go on Twitch right now and you look at like old school RuneScape, go to the top streamer, it'll look very similar to what you are used to when you're a kid. You go to a RuneScape 3 stream and it's just, even if you're familiar with like old school RuneScape, it'll look nothing like it. It's completely different. But it is fun. in
Новый
its own
RuneScape
way.
совсем не похож
It's quite
на
So basically on this quest we're
то,
gathering
что было
like,
раньше,
a team
который мы сейчас
together
видим.
to
Но,
help with the
как бы, каждому свое.
world treasure that
Они
Willow
как-то
wants
должны
to
расти.
find. And
Нельзя
this is one of
застревать
them
на
where we
месте.
play where he wants to drink from us and then we play rock, paper, scissors, but we win whatever option we select because
Classic.
he's just so out of it.
Камень,
Sure,
ножницы,
but
бумаги
it's-
играем, но мы всегда выиграем, потому что знаем, что выбирать. С одной стороны, с другой стороны, вроде
It's
он
the
сказал, что
continuing trope of just
мы выбираем
give
каждый
your
раз
opponent alcohol, and with enough, you'll just win. No matter
победный
what.
вариант.
It's also like the dwarf stereotype, right? Because they're a whole like, oh, dwarfs love to drink.
Он сказал, что не важно, что мы выберем.
Very cute cutscenes as well.
Yeah, nice.
Straight back to Lumbridge.
There's also something to mention on some quests you can do things before the quest to help you during the quest, whether that's getting a monster to low HP and then basically one hitting it during the quest can save a lot of time. I'm just not doing that setup on here because
Because it's slower, like real time start to
Yeah.
finish, but it would be faster in-game time to do so. You can also like, I think you can like open certain doors and cupboards
Yeah.
and stuff like that ahead of time because otherwise they'll be closed, but you can open them ahead of time. I think at one point when it was first released, you could, it's like everyone was like doing the speedruns right because it was new content. And then there were some people that would go and just like shut the gates in front of everyone to like ruin your runs. But now I think they made it so all the doors are just open, right?
yeah, or things are unique to that player.
Yeah. Because like, you know, there's always someone who's gonna ruin the fun for everyone else,
Yeah.
and they would just like slam the doors shut constantly. So if you try
Поначалу
to like, click on the map like
на этих
Simon's
серверах
Keep, like, run
спидранерских
quite a far distance, you would just end
люди
up running
руинили
around because the game
спидранерам,
cut
закрывали
half
двери
the
перед
player
ними.
or- And it's just
В итоге решили сделать так, что двери
Also
не
with
закрываются.
pathing, you want to try and keep a
Изи.
straight path as
Но только,
possible, obviously,
естественно,
it's
на
just gonna go
спидранерских
from
серверах.
side to side.
Yeah.
So I am trying to do that where I remember.
Yeah.
We're picking up a Chronicle again because we will be going back to Rauk in a short while.
Yep.
Um,
Лишь бы
is like-
руить.
best item in these runs
Yeah.
that you just use it so much, saves so much time.
Very helpful. So for this quest, we need to make a steak sandwich. So for that, we need. Let's see.
Для
something
квеста
again.
нам
We
нужно
need,
сделать
red
сэндвич.
dough and
So you should need to-
beef. Our cooking level's 30. So there's a chance we can still burn.
Лучший саундтрек играет
So
сейчас.
Also luck based.
I buy extra just in case.
Audience is loving this one. I think this is probably the most famous RuneScape song, right?
Yeah, so from here I buy 5 raw beef and then 2 pots of flour. And I head over to Marok.
Yeah, there are some quests where you have to go to like really, deep caves in the middle of nowhere and then get an item and then come all the way back and cook it.
Yeah.
And if you burn it, you have to like basically redo the entire quest again to get the item again. It's really daft. So a lot of the times you'll see people like while they're in that area, say if you have to like kill a certain NPC to get their hide and cook it or whatever, I don't know. They'll do it like a bunch of times to hope that they can cook at least one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with some quests you can drop items on the floor so you can get given them.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. And you can say like, oh no, I've lost my whatever, and they'll go, oh, it's fine, we'll give you another one. And you can use it to like duplicate them.
Какие-то вещи в квестах можно дублировать.
So you just
Просто
make
выбрасываешь на пол и разговариваешь с
quest
NPC, говоришь,
time.
блин, я потерял квестовый айтем. И
Yeah,
он NPC
that's
такой,
right.
ну ладно, держи еще один.
And that's fine.
Good.
So that's actually really good because if I kept burning them, it just makes things
Квестовые
quite
айтемы все
awkward
равно
and
не
makes
продаются,
somebody
по-моему,
go
либо
to
ничего не
Soul
стоят, я
Wars
не помню.
to be able to go to Edgeville again because that's where Marley is.
And again, so even though we just used the Giant's
Вообще
Foundry
забавно.
teleport, it actually resets because we're doing a new quest, which is like an entirely fresh start. So
Yeah, I think they gave a lot of thought to how they wanted this mode to work. It has been spoken about for many years now.
it is a really cool idea, and it's a shame that it's not as popular. Like it's not like a big thing, but it makes sense because speedrunning is like a niche.
Yeah.
And it's also like a lot of people did them on release for the rewards, and then they go back to the main game because they want to get back to doing three-tick granite for
Exactly.
180 hours to get 200 mil mining or whatever.
Yes. So the worlds are quite empty.
Yeah.
But if you look on the speedrun.com boards, most of the runs are from a few months ago or further from where the mode actually came out.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in this, I'll definitely give it a go.
Сервера, конечно, не
it's
заполнены
assisted,
спидранерские,
so it'll
но
take you a couple minutes
Yeah,
at a
exactly.
time.
периодически,
Like, the route is, like, super easy
раз в
to
несколько
learn, to
месяцев,
get
либо
platinum,
чаще,
gold, and stuff like
появляется
that.
спидранер
You do
или
get
что-то
cool rewards
спидранит.
doing it. That you, like, they transfer over to like your main account, so you get like
Так что нормально.
you get like a trophy. If you get like all the
Кинемся
platinum
живем.
ones, for example, you get like a big platinum trophy that you can carry around, and you also get like a teleport animation where you like sprint and disappear or whatever, I think. And you also get like a stopwatch, I think, like a golden stopwatch as well. Some cool cosmetic stuff.
So it can be, you are rewarded for it. Like it's not an amazing reward. Like you don't get something that beneficial. It's just more cosmetic. But
I mean, most of it makes sense because like another big reason that people quit RS3 was because of the whole like monetization, pay to win. Because like the whole Squeal of Fortune thing where you can like you can like pay real money and you can get XP in return. So you can essentially buy your way through the game, which for RuneScape standards, people have put like 200 hours into an accomplishment, and then someone comes along and buys their way through it. There was a friend who's a YouTuber who like started a new account and just bought like treasure hunter keys and Squeal of Fortune spins, and he maxed his account in like 10 hours or something.
very
Здесь меньше происходит.
Obviously, it would cost you an
Легендарная
astronomical amount
музыка.
of money, but
So yeah, this is just a training montage. So we got time for messages. if
Rocky
there's
Rocky
any.
Balboa.
Thank you. We are currently 3/4 of the way to our first milestone. You have about 9 more hours to reach the $10,000 goal. Remember, you can also donate to win grand prizes provided to us from Red Wolf Networks. For example, we have a custom ESA PlayStation 5,
Великая драка.
a
Варвары.
Tears of the Kingdom Switch, and a DualSense Edge PlayStation
Лица
5
варваром.
controller. So keep those donations coming. Thank you.
Oh, we are really training, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of, to the guy who spoke previously, you kind of had to prove your strongness to him.
Yeah.
And this
The
is way to
barbarians
do
are
it.
always about like being tough lads.
So there's multiple NPCs kind of like motivating you. So he just did 100 push-ups. So
Simple stuff, really. I don't know about you guys,
Очень
but I
NPC
can do 100
подбадривает
push-ups in my
нас,
sleep.
чтобы мы смогли достичь своей эпичной
I know
формы,
this cutscene was so
спидранерской, так сказать.
like, goodness me.
The good thing with old school is their team, they let them kind of make their own ideas and add them into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of like unique content that's not in RuneScape 3 but is in old school.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we've got
look at
flex
this.
promote, that's to prove that we're strong enough.
That
Вот
we're
это
absolutely
сила.
rated.
And then we have to do the amount nearby. Check out.
Because obviously, as everyone knows, you can't physically flex unless you're absolutely ripped.
Oh, I have to go a bit closer.
There we go.
So now we're off to Ice Mountain, as that's where the entrance is that is sealed off, and that's where they think the treasure is. And basically we've got a fight coming up, this kind of rock golem type thing.
The Ice Mountain and White Wolf Mountain, which are like the two ones that go across here, can be quite treacherous as well. Especially White Wolf Mountain. That was my moment,
Yeah.
you know, when people say about like, oh, I was killed by the Dark
I
Ages
agree.
or whatever. Yeah, White Wolf Mountain was mine.
На этих, в этих горах периодически появляются белые волки. Волки. Ну, естественно, они нас очень быстро разваливают.
See like 20 people there at one time.
Yeah, exactly. And White Wolf Mountain was like your only real way over there. But obviously there's loads of wolves on there that would mess you up if you weren't careful, so.
Yeah, I've died a few times over the...
All your pals would be laughing at you. Hey, Simon, back to Lumbridge with you. I know there is some tech in some of the quests where like, so the way the quests work is obviously you just have like certain objectives, and the objectives can be completed like mid-cutscene.
Yeah.
So then if you somehow find a way to end the cutscene prematurely, you can just continue on without the cutscene playing. And there's certain ones where you can like close your client in a certain place to like progress on the quest. I don't think it's possible in these ones. I think it's like very specific circumstances.
But it's strange because on this quest you can defeat the monster and then actually leave the building, but the quest won't end.
Yeah.
For some reason they made you be able to click outside of it, but it does nothing to affect the progress.
Yeah, sometimes you'll just like reset the progress by mistake.
So yeah, they're just sorting out the traps for us so we can go inside.
I think this might be on par with like, is it Wanted? Which is the one that has like a load of unskippable cutscenes.
Yeah, that is a very
This is up there with
cutscene.
this. Yeah.
So yeah, it turns out they're a team of robbers. So she basically found out about this place and wanted to tell all her old robber friends about it. And basically there's no treasure in there, so they're just going to leave us to die.
Not very nice, if you ask me.
Our player is just too trusting of people.
Yeah.
It happens in a lot of other quests as well.
Like just everyone trusts everyone for some reason. You would think that if you were like a thief, you wouldn't be the most open, trustworthy person.
So we need to hit 4 of these pillars, and then after each hit we can try and hit the guardian again to
Да.
get some extra hits in,
По каждой колонне ударить Разулю.
which I'm not doing.
Ну,
too
потом в
well
центре еще
at the
что-то
moment.
там ударить.
This
Ликер
boss
то.
is not any kind of threat really. Got plenty of food and stuff like that. To make sure you don't get stacked out. Because it is possible for some animations in the game to sort of stall you. So if you do a certain animation, like, it doesn't work in this one, but let's say, for example, that if Simon started mining, and then the rock golem hit him, it would like stack all the damage until he's out of the animation of mining, and then he would get hit all at once. So you can get like 100 to 0'd by certain NPCs if you're not careful.
So you need to be really safe.
Yeah. So you can do a lot of like stalls and things like that.
That fight could have gone a lot quicker. It's all about timing. If you get your timing down, it can be really quick. Also RNG as well, hitting high with the pickaxe.
Yeah, you could just like max hit him every single time and do a ton of damage. And hey, we found some treasure. The irony. 2
then-
billion gold, just like that.
And then
Nice and easy.
the wolf just appears out of nowhere.
I suppose you don't have to give him a beer as well.
And that's below Ice Mountain done. And lastly, we have Dragon Slayer 1. It's called Dragon Slayer 1 now, because there's a Dragon Slayer 2.
Yeah, this used to be just called Dragon Slayer, but now there's Monkey Madness 2, there's Dragon Slayer 2. Is that all of them? I think those are the 2 ones that have like sequels, right?
Yeah.
And those are like proper Grandmaster quests. But I think you can speedrun those, right?
Yeah,
Or-
you can
at least they're
speedrun
planning
Dragon Slayer
to-
2 on
yeah.
here.
But those are like proper end game content. Like it's quite a long quest. I don't know what a good time would be, but like, you know, in terms of average players doing it, it'll probably take like an hour to do just by itself. They're quite long.
Yeah, and Desert Treasure 2 is a new one.
Oh yeah,
as well,
Desert
so
Treasure
they're
2.
coming out with all these.
Еще один новый
vehicles.
квест.
So
Yeah. And these are all like
Какой-то
iconic quests.
поиск
Like, if you play
сокровищ
this
в
game,
пустыне.
you know Dragon Slayer, you know Monkey Madness, and you know Desert Treasure.
So there is a lot more quests to speedrun, the members ones as well, but they're a lot more riskier. So I thought it'd be best to kind of show off this game mode for nostalgia. so
Yeah,
you can get a good.
This is what most
Right,
people are
okay.
familiar with, right? Because like most people probably don't play the game actively anymore, so they won't know about like a lot of new members quests. So makes sense. Yeah, so this is like the Elvarg, which is the dragon that we're gonna fight, is essentially like the final boss of free to play. You know, like there's no bigger challenge really. Like technically nowadays there are free to play bosses,
Yeah.
like Obor and whatever the other one's called, the Moss Giant boss,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Elvarg is certainly like the big boss for sure. So
Yeah, we go to the major arena now, as we're going to buy runes for the quest run.
yeah, so this is where you'll see like the major arena is technically a massive detour. It's in the wilderness, which is you know, very very deep away. We're all the way at the top of the map now, and also deep wilderness is considered very dangerous because you can actually be attacked by other players
Yeah.
as well. So if you're in the main game and you went here, there's a good chance that there's somebody camping the lever.
Yeah, people love to
they'd-
camp out here.
They'd kill you without defense and then like type some slurs in the chat. Yeah, classic RuneScape. But yeah, but the good thing about coming all the way here is that it has a rune shop and you can purchase loads of runes that you wouldn't usually be able to purchase at
Yeah.
decent prices anywhere else. And it's not that inconvenient to get to because of the levers that you can use
Yeah.
to teleport.
And also the Soul Walls port, we can use that and then
Yeah,
go over. So
exactly.
I'm buying specific amounts of different runes because I'm choosing to fight Elvarg using an Addy sword. And the other option is to use a maple short bow, which can be a bit faster.
But it
It's
is
a
also
bit more riskier.
far riskier, yeah. So the short bow approach is essentially what you have to do is you have to short bows are two-handed, right? But the problem is that the entire point of this quest is that you get an anti-dragon shield. Because without it, if you try and fight a dragon, the dragon breath does like ridiculous damage to dragon fire. Like it will like one-shot you basically. So you need to have some kind of protection against Elvarg's like fire breath attack. So what you would do is you would wield a shield, but the issue is that you can't wield a maple shortbow and a shield at the same time, because it would unequip your shield if you did that. Whereas the adamant sword is
Безнадежно,
one-handed, so you
что-то
can
очень
have the
спать
shield on
хочется.
the whole time. So what you would do is, if you were an absolute Chad and you were going for world record times, you would take the maple shortbow with you, and you could take
Бен,
the
конечно, очень много
anti-dragon
рассказывает.
fire shield in your inventory, and then you would attack Elvarg.
Ну, прям
And
очень
then
много
you would attack
рассказывает.
with the maple shortbow,
И
and then when
вперемешку
Elvarg attacks, you switch to the shield
мешает
to tank the damage, and then you switch and
инфу с
re-attack,
этого,
switch. It's
с личных
if you mess
прохождений
it up,
просто.
you're dead instantly,
you are.
basically.
Я уже
If you make a
проспал, как
single
они руны
mistake,
тут
it's
достают.
death.
Ладно.
And Elvarg is quite far away,
Спать охота.
buried in Crandor, which is like quite a remote location. So a death
Пойду я.
is huge, you know, in terms of time loss. So it's much more safe and, you know, marathon friendly to just go with the adamant sword. Then you can keep the shield on the whole time. But it doesn't mean that the boss is easy by any means. Like Addy sword is not that good. You know?
No, it isn't.
It's pretty weak, but it's the best thing that you can buy.
Buy
nearby.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it might sound silly. You might be able to think like, oh, can we not make like better armor or anything like that? The answer is no, because like until the mining and smithing rework happened, which was like, you know, happened in RS3 a few years ago. I don't know if they're planning to do it in old school or if they already have. I don't know, but basically now, in order to make level 40 armor or weapons, you need like a maxed out smithing skill. And that's obviously not, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So you would think that you would need only like 40 smithing to make level 40 armor, but you don't. You need 99 to make a rune plate body, which is, yeah, pretty silly.
So we've got the anti-dragon shield from
My boy the Duke.
which is obviously, like Ben just said, very useful.
Yep.
We need it,
Yep.
especially using melee. And we're going to buy study chaps and study body here, just for a little bit of mage protection.
Yeah, so this might seem like counterintuitive, because why are we buying range armor if we're planning to melee down the boss? And the simple answer is that in old school RuneScape, it doesn't really matter what armor you wear, because the armor usually just gives you defensive qualities. Technically speaking, they do give you minus attack accuracy sometimes. But for example, this range armor that we've got here, it just gives us magic defense, and obviously Elvarg is going to smack us with magic quite a lot, so magic defense is going to be very useful. Whereas if we were to take on like full plate armor, we would have no magic defense and we would just get slaughtered.
So basically, we're working towards getting the map to Crandor, so we're doing...
Gonna do a bunch of like miscellaneous tests. The big thing regarding combat in this game is there's something called the combat triangle. If you're familiar with MMOs, you probably know what I mean. But it's like just a triangle of, you know, different attack styles and how they benefit each other and what's good against what. So melee is like super effective against range. Range is super effective against magic, and magic is super effective against melee. So if we're going into a magic fight, we want magic defense, because if we just go full melee, then we lose because of the combat triangle, basically. Obviously, you can, you know, go ahead and win anyway if you're good enough, but it definitely can set you to a disadvantage.
So will the game crash here? No, it won't. Okay, so the past 2 times I practiced teleporting to house, it's crashed, but it didn't seem to do it
That's
that
very,
time.
very weird. I don't know why it would do that, but range.
So now we're doing the maze, and we're looking for the rat with the longest tail.
Yeah.
I think is this one over here.
Yeah, so this is,
Quite
there's like
hard
a
to
number of
see.
yeah, there's a number of red doors. So we need to kill a certain NPC on every single floor to get an appropriately colored key, and then we go through the door.
I'm just making sure I'm clicking the
Yeah.
right door so I don't
Yeah.
lose the key.
If you go through, the key disappears whether you guess right or wrong. So if you guess wrong, you then have to come right back and start all over again. So it's usually like a trial and error puzzle, unless you notice that the NPCs look slightly different. Obviously, if you're using a guide, it'll tell you that. If you're using like a Runelight and Quest Helper, it will, you know, put like a
The
outline
highlights.
around the one that you're supposed to
Makes it
hit.
a lot
So,
easier.
yeah.
So we're going through a few doors, and then fighting Melzar, and then a lesser demon. And like I mentioned earlier, before the quest you can attack the lesser demon, get low health, and then come back to it later.
The Lesser Demon is like level 80 something, so it's, aside from Elvarg, it's like the biggest threat, because the mage isn't a threat at all, really. So the Lesser Demon is potentially tricky. So if you're wondering why Simon picked up a bunch of like seemingly random runes, this is one of the reasons. This is Crumble Undead, which is a spell that does like a lot more damage against undead creatures, such as skeletons, for example, or zombies, things like that. So you can use it to kill this thing, in theory, a lot faster than the way you would kill it with melee. Obviously, if you get unlucky, you can just splash a bunch of times, but yeah, in theory, it's faster. And then he also has a bunch of lore runes and a bunch of elemental runes, which you can actually use to teleport to various places, as long as you have the magic level to do so. I don't know what magic level they give you in this, but it's at least like 30 plus.
I think 50.
Oh, it gives you 50, okay.
Yeah.
So you can
40 agility is very helpful as well.
Yeah, so you can teleport pretty much anywhere in the game.
Which is why being able to buy the lore runes.
Yeah, exactly.
is
So
very
we made a slight detour to Mage Arena, but now we can teleport all around the map, basically. So it's much faster overall.
Also, this zombie has mad bass, so you should be able to hear it every time it makes a sound.
It has what, sorry?
Mad bass.
Oh, yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, so we got the key on the first one, so you can get it on the first one or the second one. So now I'm going to kill Melzar. He's going to drop the magenta key.
Yeah, and he has like really weird and quirky like dialogue lines that he says all the time for some reason. I don't know what the...
So I'm just
I
gonna
guess because he's mad. Yeah.
and I'm going to leave the prayer on here because I'm just going to use the prayer altar in Lumbridge. So.
Yep. He dropped a cabbage at your feet.
Yeah, for those wondering, I'm doing the speedrun in a members world because the speedruns are members only. That's why I'm able to have stamina potions. But for those who don't know, energy potions are actually free to play now.
Yeah, the stamina ones you wouldn't be able to use if you were doing this actually free to play. But the stamina potions don't make the quest easier, it just makes it so you have to walk less, basically.
So that fight went a bit quicker than it usually does. So now we've just got a lesser demon to kill.
Yep.
I'll just lure it over here.
Yeah. Luckily you're in a tight corridor, and there's a very easy, like, sort of safe area here as well. And you can do what is called, this isn't quite flinching, but it also, like, this is more like safe spotting. But yeah, basically all that it is that the lesser demon is, it's too big to fit through where Simon is. So it's trying to attack him, but it can't get there. So then, but because we have line of sight of the lesser demon, and we can use magic, we can actually, like, stand back and kill them without taking any damage.
So by doing this, lower levels are able to complete the quest quite easily. They're able to self-spot Elbow.
Yeah. And also, there's a thing called flinching, which you could do. So you could flinch this if you were using melee exclusively. And basically what it is that you would wait until the enemy's health bar disappears, so it's not, like, ready to attack you. And then you would run in, attack it, and then run out again before it can attack you, because it has to wait a certain time before it attacks you. And that would just mean it so you could, you know, use melee but not take any damage. Essentially safe spotting it, but with melee as well.
Yeah, so it's crashed. I don't know why.
That's very strange. I don't know why the game crashes like that. It's weird.
Sure, yeah, the game's...
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
But the timer continues running even though you're logged out.
Yeah.
So obviously we lost a bit of time there.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad.
Another good thing about the official, like, RuneScape client is that you don't have to, like, potentially leak your email or password or anything, because it's all, like, already put in the launcher. So you can just press the button and you can, like, click whatever account you want to log into and then just press play and it will put you right back in. So
I'm just going to mine some clay and do some other bits. So if you've got any time for messages, that would be good.
I would like to remind you that we are raising money for Alzheimerfonden this event. Alzheimer's has no current cure, but treatments for symptoms are available and research continues. Although current treatments cannot stop Alzheimer's from progressing, they can temporarily slow the worsening of dementia symptoms and improve quality of life for those with Alzheimer's and their caregivers. So please, donate and help the charity and all of that good stuff. Thank you.
So we got our first map piece from Killing Less Demon, and then some goblin called Wormbrain has the next map piece. So we're able to use telekinetic grab to pick up that piece, but I don't have enough space, so I'm just gonna drop the pickaxe.
yeah, so this is a spell that you can use to pick up something remotely, even, like, through a, you know, a jail cell or something. Your other option is you can bribe him, I think, but it's way faster
I think
than
that's
kill
like
him.
10,000.
Yeah.
So we're going to buy the boat, which we'll be using to get to Crandor. And then we get to hear Sea Shanty 2 again.
Yeah, so we need to buy the boat. We have just enough money to do so, and then also we need to fix it up because the boat isn't in great shape. So that's what the planks and stuff are for that Simon got earlier. And we also need to find someone to captain the ship. And we take Ned from Draenor.
Ned from Draenor.
And Ned actually says YOLO way before YOLO was a thing. Did you know that? In the quest dialogue, he literally says YOLO. And that was in, when did Dragon Slayer 1 came out? 2002? Something like that.
So I'm just going to get prayer here.
Yeah. RuneScape invented YOLO. That's a fun little history fact for you.
And then we're going to visit Count Check again, who we're able to use.
Yeah, because we've, like, reset again, because we're on a completely different, like, instance and everything like that, it treats us as a new account, essentially, so we can use Count Check. But if Simon were to use him again in the same quest, it wouldn't work. There's no option to do so.
So we're going to make an unfired bowl, because for the last map piece, it's kind of a riddle we have to solve.
Yeah, with the Oracle, or whatever her name is. We have to put, like, a lot of items into a door underneath Ice Mountain, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like under the Dwarven Mine. So
Oh yeah, the Dwarven Mine, yeah.
quite a random selection of items. That's why I've been.
Yeah. But again, if you know what the items are, you can just like talk to the Oracle. She gives you the riddle, and you just instantly know how to solve it and just go there straight away.
I can imagine it being quite fun to learn
Actually
about
figure
these
it out,
quests and
yeah.
figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of like when a quest is released on the first day.
Yeah. It's always good until you mash space through like critical dialogue, and then you have to go all the way back to like figure out what it was because the quest guide doesn't tell you or whatever. Yeah.
Does that happen sometimes? If you don't have an item, you just spam in space, and then you realise.
Yeah, yeah. Because they're like asking for something, and you're just like, "Sorry, I don't have it." And you just, "Sorry, I don't have it. Sorry, I don't have it." Yeah. Yeah. It is nice that we've raised so much money for Alzheimer's fund already, because we've. You know, it's a disease that, you know, affects pretty much everyone. Like most people have or know somebody, like a family member or a friend that might have, you know, experienced it. So it's awesome that we've been able to put so much money together just on the first day, and well on our way to 10K.
Yeah, really good cause.
Yeah.
Like if we could hit 8,000 in the next few hours or so, that'd be really good. And remember, there's incentives to put your money towards as well.
Yeah. Simon solved that riddle so quick. Never seen anything like it. The Oracle's like mind completely blown. Like who is this like genius that I've just came to? But the RuneScape lore is that basically we're like the chosen one, right? Like we're like the world guardian that's like protecting the Gillinor, which is like the earth of RuneScape.
Exactly.
So yeah, like it makes perfect sense canonically that we're just like infinite knowledge genius. But in reality, we just cheat by looking things up ahead of time. Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to run over to Ned to chat to him to ask us to navigate the boat for us.
Yeah.
And then we'll be on our way to the boat to go to Crandor to fight Elvarg.
Stamina potions coming in clutch here because we did have a lot of items. So otherwise our run energy would be way down. But
yeah, my
makes it way easier.
inventory management could be a lot better.
I mean, it's the little things. The important things is that you massacre the bosses. That's the most important part. But yeah, so if you saw Simon there, he selected a prayer that you hadn't seen before. Those are called protection prayers. So this one is, there's protect from magic that you unlock at level 37. There's protect from range, which is 41, 40, something like that. And then protect from melee is level 43 prayer. So that's like a big milestone that new accounts get, is the protection prayers. Because in old school RuneScape, it actually protects you from all of that specific damage. So for example, if you go up to a magician and you pray protect from magic, he will do no damage to you. Obviously there are exceptions, like we're still going to take damage from Elvarg because certain enemies hit you either through prayer or they might just do reduced damage through prayer. But then also Elvarg's, I think, I don't know if this is true, quote me if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Elvarg's damage is like typeless, right?
Yeah.
So you take damage no matter what. But then also, Magic Prayer actually helps nullify Dragon Fire, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't entirely protect you, but Magic Prayer plus the Dragon Fire shield will greatly reduce the damage from the Dragon Fire.
If there was a way for us to get an anti-fire potion, we would be using that. And also,
because that would give you like complete protection.
And when getting hit with a Dragon Fire Breath, it drains prayer as well.
Yeah.
So
if you could get a potion, you would not even need to use the shield, so you could use the bow and take minimal damage. You know, like potion plus magic prayer would be good, but
so
here we are.
Classic ship kind of music going on there.
And here's a very sad death if you're into the RuneScape lore. Look at this incredible CGI. And the whatever his name is, like the sailor boy gets wrecked. Spoilers. Cabin boy
Jenkins.
Rest in peace. There he goes. We'll see him in Lumbridge. And also, less importantly, our ship gets destroyed.
Yeah.
So now we're stranded on Crandor. But there is a very super secret passageway back out. So if you're going to do this quest, if you're new to RuneScape, this is the biggest piece of advice that Simon and I can give to you. Once you go through here, if you just go and fight Elvarg and die or have to teleport out or whatever, you would have to then rebuild the ship, I think, right? And then come all the way back again.
Yeah.
But there is actually a passageway that you can open from the inside all the way to the south where Elvarg is, And if you open that up, then you can just go through the passageway, which is way, way quicker.
Yeah,
So there's
very
Elvarg.
useful.
Yeah. So this is, towards the end of the quest, this is like the final thing that we have to do. And, you know, all that you have to do, I say all because it sounds like it's really simple, is you just have to bring Elvarg's head to whatever the guy's name is in Edgeville, Oziak or something.
Yeah.
There. This is the big final boss. I'll let you concentrate, Simon. There you can see, it's taking a lot of damage. And the adamant sword is, you know, it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
So with any luck, we will get melee hits, which is good because the Dragonfire does far more damage. So as you can see, he's not taking a lot of melee damage. The Dragonfire is where you start taking big damage. So with any luck, we will get good hits ourselves, and Elvarg will not hit us a lot.
Yeah, not
with
so
the
good
Dragonfire.
so far.
Yeah, this is not looking too good.
I've run out of prayer already. I would one tick prayer, which is picking the prayers so it doesn't drain prayer.
Yeah.
You turning them on and off quick enough.
Yeah.
But if I'm still getting hit by the Dragonfire anyway and draining
it's not worth it. Yeah. So this game works on like a tick-based system, so every 0.6 seconds, like an action happens in like response to the server or whatever. So you can turn the prayers on and off at like a certain interval every single tick, and the game like doesn't register that you've used the prayers and it needs to drain your prayer points until the next tick. So as long as you continue being tick perfect, you can use no prayer. But yeah, as you said, you'll keep getting drained by the Dragonfire anyway, so...
Yeah,
doesn't really help
Elvarg
you.
seem to be meeting us a lot here.
Yeah, which is good.
Very good.
Yeah.
And what I'm gonna... Because you can actually finish this quest without collecting the head, you just need to teleport as soon as Elvarg dies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the game's kind of registered you as killing Elvarg.
Yeah.
But I need to get the timing right. It needs to be literally as soon as that last hit goes on it.
Yeah.
But obviously I want to be safe because I don't want to leave Elvarg on 1 HP.
Yeah, if you teleport out, that's not great. Yeah. So now we're getting much better hits.
Yeah,
As you can
so I'm
see,
just
Simon
gonna
has
need to fall just to-
plenty of food. Yeah. Better to be safe than sorry, for sure. So there are, if you want to like master this game, there are a number of things that you can do to like tick manipulate and you know, manipulate like the AI and stuff like that. So like one thing that you can do is you can like walk underneath an NPC.
Yeah, so I managed to get the timing correct
Nice.
on that.
Good.
And then there's a little delay here where the player
You're
would
supposed to be
collect the
taking,
head,
collecting the head. Yeah.
and then we know we've done it because it says you've
Nice.
defeated Elvarg.
Now just running up to Edgeville and
Yeah.
that's it, right? Awesome.
So that went quite well considering I've got quite a bit of food left. The
Yeah.
start of the fight was a bit slow, but
Yeah, a death to Elvarg would have been pretty bad, but you had enough time if you did die, so
this is good time as well. It's under estimate.
yeah, good stuff. Proud of you, Simon.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the commentary. It's kind of like this is the first run I've done solo. At
Oh, you
ESA.
did well. It's difficult to also like talk and play as you're doing it. Like I've tried that before, and it's certainly not easy.
Yeah, so the commentary from Ben's been very helpful.
Oh, yeah, very
It's
well.
allowed me to focus as well.
Any final words?
Yeah, like I said,
Sounds like a
if you-
threat almost. Isn't it? Any last words?
If you want to check this out, go on speedrun.com or check out the old school RuneScape wiki. Like I said, some of the quests are quite short, so it can be quite fun to go through them. So
That's
just
the button
talk
for you.
to Oziak, and that's time. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to the crowd, and thanks again, Ben.
No worries.
Yeah, like I said, you can easily find resources to start speedrunning this quest. Remember to keep donating to Alzheimer Funding
Yeah.
and get to